guys, it's Eden. Welcome back to another episode of Sports for All podcast. This one is quite different, as some of you may or may not know. I also am quite a creative person, and I write poetry. And most of my poems are talking about my lived experience with chronic illness, maybe a little bit about the social advocacy work that I do. But I've also written a few over the last 3 years, taekwondo related poems. And I was thinking maybe today might be quite a nice episode to share them and do something a little bit different. So I'm gonna read you guys some of my poems today about taekwondo. So the first one, I think I wrote it in 2023. It's just called Taekwondo. A massive title. So here we go. Taekwondo. The feeling of my feet on the red and blue mats, rushing home from school, homework not done, but who cares? It's time for taekwondo. Have fun. Walk through the gates, into the familiar old church hall. Green walls never painted, a flag on the wall. A second home you've had for 10 years. Laughter, chatter, sweat, and maybe a few tears. But the taekwondo family takes away all of your fears. The taekwondo family makes it all better. Through the hard times, the good, the scary and exciting. Taekwondo, a safe space, a place to call home. Taekwondo, my one true love that I'll never let go. Wow, okay. Yeah, I think that poem really kind of describes the atmosphere. There's a lot of stuff in that people probably, if you're not in my taekwondo club, you won't understand, the green walls in the church, that kind of thing. I know poets aren't supposed to talk about what they've written, but the it's time for taekwondo have fun line has significance because my Alexa used to go off with an alarm when it was time to get ready for taekwondo. She used to say that to me, and I was like, yeah, that was a nice little memory. And I was like, okay, homework is going away, everything's going away, I'm about to go to training. So yeah. I've got a poem here called The T-Shirts I Wear. Not necessarily all taekwondo related. This one isn't massively taekwondo, but it is talked about quite a lot in it. So this one's The T-Shirts I Wear. The dreary, cold and breezy summer of Northern Ireland. Yet the T-shirts I wear always bring a lot of comfort. Most being black, maybe showing the internal emotions, yet there is so much more behind their meaning. The red one, the last taekwondo competition I was at. The Adidas logo one made by someone very special to my heart. The purple one I wore every Wednesday night for a year. And the black Harry Potter one, Dad's present to me after his heart surgery. Book t-shirts, circus t-shirts, and lots of taekwondo t-shirts. T-shirts I wear hold a lot of significance. T-shirts I wear bring me a lot of power when I struggle to find it inside. The t-shirts I wear, the t-shirts I wear. So, so I have a big collection of t-shirts. It's just something I collect, and in that is a lot of competition t-shirts, events of the taekwondo things that I've attended over the years. So it's really, they mean a lot, and the t-shirts have a lot of significance. Okay. So this next one is called Gucci Gang. Now that is another inside joke between my friends. So I don't think any of you have ever heard this poem, but I think I wrote it in 2023. So here we go. The Gucci Gang, the chosen five, the lights of my life that bring me sparkle and some joy. From 2014 to beyond, the one and only my crew, the one that always cheers me up even when the times are tough, the one that always knows what to say to always brighten up my day, the one that's insanely smart but the next minute could be talking about sports, the one who has the best taste and has always been a saving grace. And last but not least, there is me, the leader, the one that holds it all together until she can't. Days go by, weeks, months, then it becomes 2 years, heartbroken and sometimes lots of tears, yet when they meet again, it's like no time has passed. To the Gucci Gang, my good friends, never change. I love you all so much. So yeah, I think you guys will know which person is which in that poem, but I just want to write something to express how much it's so mean to me. Shout out to the five. Okay, so the next one is called Scotland Weekend, and for anybody who has listened to other episodes of my show, they know how much Scotland Weekend has meant to me over the years. It's my favourite competition. So here it is. It's just called Scotland Weekend. The 7th of September 2019, Glasgow. Later than the rest, but yet, it's Scotland Weekend, one of the best weekends of the year. You go around the streets of Glasgow, running, laughing, chatting, bobbing and kicking, with 3 out of 4 of your best friends, one missing, her presence replaced by that of her uncle's when we visit his shop later that day. An unescapable amount of pigeons, a rubber ball, a squishy rabbit and 2 dolls, both in dough box, 1 green belt and 1 red. The day before, lots of hustle and bustle. A lot of medals, 1, maybe even a trophy. I don't remember. I rarely ever do. I just remembered what fun we had, how much we laughed, what we listened to, how much pizza we ate, and the memories we made. This weekend is the first weekend of September. We should all be in Scotland this weekend. The unreal feeling that it has been 4 years since Scotland's magic. Memories creep in of the 2020 playlist, which was created in January. Scotland cancelled by March. You FaceTime those special friends and recreate Scotland. Well, at least you try to with the music. The next year you listen to that same playlist alone in your room, tears dripping down your face, photos and videos watched on repeat. You grieve. 4 years later, your love for Scotland is still so strong, memories so clear, yet things have moved on. 3 out of 5 remain at Shoal, but all 5 doing very different things this Scotland weekend. 3 at Saturday morning class, 1 going for third dan, the green belt now black, the other equally as mad, but then he goes home to revise. The 4th she has left entirely. She did almost 2 years ago now. She's not into boys, music, politics and activism. And as for the 5th, well, that's me. My Scotland weekend will be spent majority in bed, pining and grieving for that one weekend in September, listening to the 2019 playlist, reflecting, anticipating that we will all go back in the future, no longer teens but as adults, still close but with a new and different perspective. Scotland, we will be back. So I wrote that, I think 2024 or 2023, can't remember. The next one's called International Taekwondo Day. These poems are quite old. It's quite nice to read them back because I've not read them in a long time, probably since they were written. Okay, so this one. International Taekwondo Day. Today is International Taekwondo Day, a normal day, but also one to celebrate. My true love, my passion, those people who were once strangers but now a second family. The memories, some bad but mostly good. The laughs and fun, which there was a lot of. 10 years, 8 years training, 2 just being. The love not disappeared, the passion still in full force. 10-year-old you would be proud. Surely after 10 years, Taekwondo has run its course. It never will. It will always be a part of me, always there. Happy International Taekwondo Day. I will get back someday. Okay, that was woke. Oh, this next one is a longer one. It's called... Okay. Gradings. The feeling of stress and accomplishment. There's a grading next Sunday. These people are all doing it. I know 5 out of 7 names. Sadness, I don't know all 7, but a ratio that has been better than before. It brings me back. September 18th, 2020. The last grading I've done. In fact, the last Taekwondo big thing. Loads and loads of people. The first event since the pandemic. A different form of grading, equally as intense but in a different way. 2 written papers, 3 rounds of stepping, 4 patterns, 4 judges, no break. Masks on, mask off, temperature checked, sanitizer on. We were lucky to have done it, with the lockdown 6 months later. 1 week prior, I was in hospital, FaceTiming Damien from the children's ward. My back was in a lot of pain, my head was even worse. The hard work was luckily done. Most young people turned to baking, I turned to black belt training. My GCSEs were cancelled, there was no better opportunity. Reverses, patterns, 1-step, stretching, exercises, you name it, I did it. Every class I could get my hands on. Every seminar, just everything and anything Taekwondo. My body became a temple. No food can fill me, just dance and zooms were with friends for my downtime. I was determined. A pandemic was not stopping me. Before I am 17, I will get this black belt, and I did. Gradings? Never again, I said. I'm happy now. I can do everything I want. Coach, judge, I've got my black belt. That is me. But now I'd give anything to be doing that grading. A second dan, 1 year into my 3rd. Even just the energy to complete a class would be nice. Taekwondo, my superpower. A black belt, yes, but not one in power practice. Grading stress, but yet accomplishment. My favourite coaches, all second. My friends, almost all second. Second dan, I will come for you. So it's quite funny because most of my friends are now 3rd dans, but at the time that I wrote this, they weren't. And whenever I did my black belt, I was really happy, obviously. I've been working years for it. But I used to not think I wanted to do any more gradings. I would love to have done more now if I go back. Yeah, so the next one is called 10 Years of My Sport. Which again is quite out of date because it'll be 13 years this September, so this is quite an old poem. But here we go. 28th of September 2013. A shy little girl, 2 weeks just short of 10, walks into the big hall with her best friend. Lots of shouting, a real buzz about the place. You feel more at ease. A few months later, the other girl leaves. You question staying, but you soon fall in love. 2014, you have made lots of friends. Confidence growing with lots of firsts. First seminar, first grading, first competition. The friends who soon become your newfound family. 2015, your love and passion growing stronger and stronger. Fears of sex starting secondary school overlooked. You open the British Nationals, 500 pairs of eyes on you. 2016, consumed with Taekwondo. Your love becomes so much more. The sport becomes so much more. You even leave your friends asleep after just becoming a teenager one day prior to travel to Dublin to train. 2017, you attend your first Grand Prix. The atmosphere amazing. 2018, you meet the Olympic coaches. The year after, your confidence plummets. More injury and disappointment. Family drama, as they say. You almost give up. April 2019 comes. There's a shift, a drastic turnaround. That year becomes best yet. Passion and engagement increases even more. You're only one away from black. Then comes 2020, a year like no other, one not to be forgotten. You immerse yourself. A black belt by 17, you always dreamed. A coach like the ones who inspired you. A full circle moment. You train every day. Taekwondo becomes more of a lifeline as you can't even go outside. September 18th, 2020, you achieved your dream. Dreams really do come true. You were on top of the world, but little did you know your world would change. 2021, the return to in-person training, a moment you and the gang have been anticipating for months. You were up at 2 a.m. watching Jay Jones, Bianca, Lauren, legends in the sport, which a year prior you had trained with. Then August 2021, you just stopped. No warning, no gradual stop. You just went along 1 week, and the next you didn't go back. Soon after, your best friend left. Tears were shed. I'll go back next week. Those weeks became months. Now it's been over 2 years. A broken heart and a deep sense of sadness, so hard to explain. 2022. Now an assistant coach. The halls go back, you go back. You feel a sense of normality. You walk through the doors. A new beginning. A sense of relief, acceptance, love washes over you. Memories come flooding back. You help put out the mats, hug your second fam, take a photo and then leave. You come home and just cry. Things aren't the same. I just want to train. But there is no energy for such things. Now it is 2023. 2 years have passed, verging on 3. Your heart aches. You laugh, smile and cry at the videos. You grieve. The love's still there so much. With the people and the sport itself. You try to keep connected, but health rules over you. Your legs carry to bed. You're lucky if you make it to 7:30 p.m. taekwondo start time. A Saturday once spent at class, now wiped out in bed. Today is the 20th of September 2023. 10 years in Seoul, 8 training. A time to celebrate, show how much taekwondo means to me and the people mean to me within it. Taekwondo, I may miss you, but you may also miss me. Through the years, there has been hard work, laughs, and maybe even some tears. It's been two years, but let's give cheers to another 10 years. At least. This time, 2024, who knows, I could be going for second dan, overcoming the fear. In short to say, to that little girl who fell in love with the sport, but everything, and in short to say, to that little girl who fell in love with not just the sport, but everything that consumes it, happy 10th anniversary. It'll always be part of you, and someday in the not so distant future, you will be back. I'll just leave that with everybody, because that was quite intense to read. Okay, so a lot of the poems here seem to just have taekwondo mentioned in them. Not necessarily the whole poem is about taekwondo. So I've got 2 to end. This one was one that more recently, I think, and it's called The Sound, Where Does It Lead Us? And it says 15 minutes, so it must have been a 15-minute writing workshop. The sound, where does it lead us? The feet hitting against the shiny pads, some of them in a lot better condition than others. Bang! Your fist hits against it. Relax, then fast. The chatter and laughter of everybody filling each other in from the day, or the week, or laughing over a random joke. The slurping of water, trying to chug as much as you possibly can in the space of 5 minutes. The clicking of your ankles as you try to match the height of the kick to the pad. You fall on your face more times than you would like to imagine, trying to do a 360. The swing of your leg in the air pushing down against gravity. The rubbery feeling of the mats against your toes. You glide gently along them. No noise, but in fact, a silence. The kebs echo throughout the hall. Some loud, some confident, and some at least trying to be those things. Flailing limbs everywhere, as you see the kids trying to avoid the dodgeball, and as you see them trying to learn the new patterns, kicks, blocks and punches, you remember that you were once like them. The clinking of the £3 coins in your pocket, or maybe in the envelope, usually quite a lot more than £3. The taekwondo hall, the sounds inside me, never to be forgotten. Okay, quite like that one. Okay, this is probably my favourite taekwondo one that I wrote. I wrote this one towards the end of last year. So it's called It Was Just a Random Saturday in September. It was just a random Saturday in September. Well, to me, it wasn't quite that random. Months and years of preparation, all just leading up to this one day. Endless hours of kicking, going over patterns more times than I would like to remember. Left, right, middle splits, all stretched every day. Slow, relaxed, fast. Slow, relaxed, fast, ingrained into my head. My suit was turning the colour of a stormy grey sky. The tiny black strings of tape holding on as if their life depended on it, to the red piece of leather. The tiny black strings of tape had been through it all. All the preparation, the disappointments, the failures, all the competitions that I had laughed at and screamed at, that I got so nervous for that all the energy inside me came out as tears. Those black strings of tape had been with me through the illnesses, the injuries, the trips to Dublin at all hours of the morning. Although they had only been there a year, it felt like the longest year of my taekwondo journey so far. The rocky road with all the cracks, the bumps, the stones, getting in the tyres. It was a long stretch that year as I gazed into the horizon. COVID couldn't have come at a better opportunity. I was ready. I was really, really ready. I was ready to say goodbye to those black pieces of tape and in fact embrace the big hurdle, the thing that I've been preparing for not just the last year, but the last 7, my black belt grading. The 19th of September 2020. We had all been in our house for months. I had seen 3 family members come in and out of hospital. I'd also been in hospital myself. Those few months have not been easy. My exams had been cancelled, my grading had been cancelled, competitions had been cancelled, everything was cancelled. The world just stopped overnight. But training continued. I continued. I kept going and going and going. And then it got to that day, that sunny Saturday in September. This was it. This was my chance. I was going to prove to myself and everybody who doubted me that I could do it. I can be a black belt. I can be like Emma and Peter. I can be like my friends. I can do this. And I did. It was mine. I had dreamed about this day for years and it had come. Eden Byrne black belt. I couldn't quite believe it. And I was on cloud 9 for days and weeks. And when I put my suit on for the first time, I breathed a massive sigh of relief. And a smile you could probably see if you were sitting on the moon. I was so happy and so excited for all the possibilities that I was going to have around me. All the new opportunities. The ability to coach. The ability to judge. The ability to go to seminars with masters and be able to train at a much higher level. And it probably sounds so silly, but the opportunity to stand at the front of the class with my best friends again. Not being pushed back and not feeling like I'm missing out. To be that role model for the younger kids, the kids coming through, the ones who were in the position that I was in, the next Peter and Emma, but in this case, the Eden. Unfortunately, things started to spiral quite quickly out of control. We still had to get through another 7 months of online classes. The winter lockdown, everybody was bored. Everybody wanted to throw their computer out the window. Everybody had had enough. Then when we finally got back to class, it wasn't in our old hall, but instead it was in the grassy banks of a place that we all knew far too well. Rain or shine, we were outside, no matter the weather. And around that time, that was when I stopped training. I didn't think it would happen, but I became unwell, and then the illness then transformed into something which has now disabled me and completely changed my life, and not in a good way. I might still be a black belt, I might still have it hanging up in my wardrobe collecting dust. However, I've not been able to have the ability to coach, the ability to judge, the ability to go to seminars with masters and be able to train at a much higher level, the ability to be able to stand up at the front of the class with my best friends. In fact, one of them is no longer there, and 2 are away at university. There have been many new members over the last few years, and none of them know me as Eden the black belt or otherwise. I've been stuck in my room, and things have changed, people have moved on, and I'm not entirely sure that I have, and that is hard. So the memory of my black belt grading, which was such a happy time, is now so hard to look back on because it's been such a journey since then, and maybe not necessarily the one that I have expected, but there is hope at the end of the tunnel, and I am hopeful that I will be back someday. So that was quite a long one to end with, but it's probably my favourite one that I've wrote and the one I've written most recently. So thank you all so much for listening. Sorry this is a bit different and in the kind of middle of my taekwondo series, but I think the last episode that came out on Friday was quite heavy, and I wanted to give you guys something to break up the end of the season. But thank you so much for listening to this, and I really appreciate all the support with this series. It's not been an easy one for me to do, so thank you all for listening and tuning in every week, and I hope you enjoyed this special surprise episode, and I will see you all for Black Tag on Friday. Take care, guys. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast. If you want to connect with me further, you can find me on LinkedIn at Eden Byrne, and be sure to check out all the other amazing podcasts on Be the Change Media Network.